So I've been thinking a lot lately. Am I racist? Now, by a lot of parameters, you know, that the system puts out there, I probably am. But am I truly racist? Or am I tribal? Now, it seems that everybody else around the world's allowed to be tribal. That is, everybody else who's not white. But it seems that white people aren't allowed to be tribal, because how could they be tribal? There's nothing tribal about them. But there is. Do I hate individuals because of their colour? No. Do I hate individuals because of their religious belief? No. Do I persecute individuals because of those reasons? No. Would I date a person of a different ethnicity? Yes. So, am I a racist? Well, it depends who is thinking that I am or I'm not. If you've got somebody on the far right, they would consider me to be weak, and probably what do they call it? Not an FNAT, a CivNat. That's it. Civic nationalist. That's what they would put me down as. Am I an FNAT? An FNAT is somebody who's generally worried about their own creed. All right, worried about the future of their own demographics, worried about immigration, worried about the impact of different cultures on their own community and how it will affect them. Well, then I'm one of those, because I worry about all of that. But the thing is, you've got up here and here. That's the heart, if you can't see, right? Steering wheel in the way. Your head might understand the facts and figures, but your heart will also tell you that you know people who are Muslims, and you like them, and they like you. Yes, I do. And I do. And they do. And you know people who are Asian. They are your friends. Yes, I do. And you have dated people, you've dated a person actually who was not completely white, although I had to be told that, I didn't know. Not that it really made a lot of difference to me, I didn't give a fuck. And, you know, that didn't bother you at all. No, it didn't. And you would date a person of a different colour, should you be attracted to that person because you like them. Well, yeah. And you don't wish harm on individual people of colour or religion, right? You just wish that there weren't so many over here because it's going to change the demographic. Yeah. Anybody with me? So, I have a particular interest in my own colour and creed. Why? Because I'm that colour. It's natural. Every other colour and creed in the world predominantly puts their own group first, because that's ingrained into your DNA at the beginning. Look after your own, all right? That's the way it is. Now, no amount of education will ever take that away from anybody. And you do have a default setting. Even the lefties do. Which is why they hate upon themselves, because when they go back to that default setting, they go, oh, I'm a racist, I hate white, we're endemically racist, we can't help ourselves, we're just racist, we need to apologise. No, you're looking after your own kind, which is exactly the same that happens to black people, Indian people, and every other demographic around the world. Right? Doesn't mean they hate you, but it means to put their own kind first, because that's what's fucking natural to do. Now, as we get more enlightened and stuff like this, and we become more westernised, depending on where you are and what you listen to, you may be right-wing, as I am, but still think that I would rather have a good Chinese person, a good black person, and a good Indian person around me that aren't horrible wankers, that are honest and truthful, than 10 white assholes who are total cunts. But that's not to say that all white people are assholes and cunts, right? So please don't go down that road. All right. However, where do I feel most comfortable? In my village. That is 99.9% white. Why? Because that's what I'm used to. Okay? Now, if I was brought up in Luton, and I grew up alongside lots of black people and lots of Asian people, I'd take that as the norm. It all depends on where you're born, you see. However, do I want this country in 60 years' time to be predominantly a different colour than white? No. Would my ancestors, right, during the Second World War or First World War, fought for king and country if they thought that that king and other wankers alongside were going to hand this country over to another culture, another religion, right? Would they have fought for that? If they'd have known, I would very much doubt they would fight vigorously against other people, which we were looking into the First World War. And there were people that said, Cotton, there were people that said, I don't hate my enemy because to kill him out of hate is murder, right? But if I'm fighting for my country, then I'm just purely an executioner. Well, there's some word salad, but whatever helps you through, I suppose. But coming back to, when you look at, say for instance, places that are predominantly black, look at the knife crimes, right? And look at the other stuff that goes on. If you go to, say, places that are predominantly Muslim, Bradford, Leeds, Birmingham, Coventry, other areas, there are certain parts of that area that you can't walk through as a white person at certain times. I fucking tell you that, by the way. Now, for me, that's a problem, because before they came, there wasn't that, all right? That's the long and the short of it. Now, cultural diversity and cultural, what is it? Multiculturalism our strength. No, it's not. Overall, I would say English people are the best in the world. Now, I'm going to say that because I'm English, right? But let me explain. We can do medicine, industry, education, culture, sport, and many other different things. We can cover everything. We may not be the fastest runners on the world, right? But we're bloody quick, okay? We may not have the highest IQ in the world on average, okay? But where they, say for instance, the Chinese, Japanese predominantly have the higher IQ, where they have a higher IQ, they're actually shitter at many other things, right? So overall, we are the best. So when you tell me that bringing any other demographic into this country is going to improve us, I don't believe you for that reason. Now, whereas we used to cherry pick people back in the day, and the people that also came over here were usually the best in their group. They were the go-getters. These were the people that wanted to do better with themselves. They wanted to educate themselves. They had the higher IQs. They had the criminal fucking backgrounds usually, and all the other things. You might have said then that their assistants over here in the work group were going to be a benefit. But now we're importing people, that these same people that came over here then, who were higher up the food chain in their country, right, as they would put it, are saying that the people that you're importing over now were the people that we left that country to escape. The criminals, the rapists, etc., etc. This is their words, not mine, right? And they were saying the ones that you're inviting over here now are the bottom of the food chain. They are the ones that create the problems back in our country, and now you're bringing them to your country, which is not only going to threaten your country and you, but us also, and that's why we have a problem with it. But when they say it, they're allowed to. Now, apparently you can't be racist to a white person. Any fucking idiot that believes that is an idiot. That's it. But they're teaching that in school right now. And they're teaching that to keep white people's mouths shut. But it's not going to work. Because these liberals and the extreme left, right, or the woke, You can call it whatever bracket you like, all right? Because some people don't like left and right. The morons that teach this cultural Marxist bullshit, right, think they've got it. Think they've nailed the next generation, but they've never worked out that, like them, they didn't do what their parents wanted them to do, or their parents' generation taught them. And most of the kids at school at the moment realise it's all bullshit. And they're not swallowing the pill. They're just trying to get their education finished as quickly as possible. Now, if you look at other countries who were totally woke and totally opened up the gates to multiculturalism, they've been stung in the ass so fucking hard that they're now swung the other way really hard. Now, this was a worry for me, that the pendulum went so far left that it would swing back very far right. Now, I don't mind it going back right, but I don't want it to go to any extreme where future generations will look at us as animals, all right? However, there are other countries, Scandinavia-wise I think it is, that are now deporting en masse the people that our government alleged that they were going to, but aren't at the moment, and are winding up the benefit system for these people and making it harder for anybody to get into the country unless they're going to be above a certain amount of bracket, financial-wise. And isn't it strange? They're doing exactly what I told people the government needs to do years ago. Why? Because it's common sense. You don't have to be a brain surgeon to work this one out. If you need a brain surgeon, there's one appearing on a dinghy very soon. Anyway, is that coal rolling or fucked? Sorry, the car came onto the motorway and it was just black. Seems to have stopped now. Beautiful. But yeah, so many of you are going to go through the same worry. Am I a racist or am I not? If you outrightly hate people purely because of their colour and that they're foreign, chances are you could be racist. If you hate a culture, go further, a religion. Say, for instance, you don't like, or you hate Islam for the fact that what Islam does when it goes into countries, how it gets along with other countries, and also how it treats its own people. And you look at it and you go, that's barbaric, that's unfair, that's horrible, that's totalitarian, that's a cult. If you look at it that way and then you go, I don't fucking like that, then you've probably got a head on your shoulders. There are other religions as well. And then when you look at Christianity back in the day, it was no different. Anyway, we had a little bit of a reformation, but all religions are there to control people, all right? How they were set out in the first place is one thing. I'm spiritual. I believe there was a God, all right? I also believe there was a bloke that went around doing good shit. However, when you write a book so many years after, and you're going down on word of mouth, all right, because at the end of the day you've got nothing less, then it's fucking vague. However, you look at the Bible, as there are parts of the Quran as well that I'm going to say that are a good way of living. It teaches you how to be clean, teaches you how to do all sorts of stuff. But there are stuff also, the Old Testament fucked me up and down. And the new whatever you call it, is it the New Testament? There are parts in there that are a bit leery. But when you look at Islam and the Quran, it's quite a warmongering thing, and it teaches you some really, really bad shit. I digress. I don't like the influx of Islam into my country. I hate it because I see it as a threat to me and my family and the future of my country. Simple. And if you read, if any of you have ever picked up the Quran and had a gander through it, right, and you realise how badly written it was, but if you did, and you've got to the crux of it, you'll realise what its intentions are. It's expansionism, which is funny enough. What the problem is with Israel at the moment, they're expansionist. They want to regain land, and it's not going to go well because the people they're trying to do it to are not really known for giving up, and they obviously don't mind about dying for their faith. Now, I'm not sure. Now, I know that within Islam, you're told that if you died through jihad, holy war, or whatever, you'll get your virgins. I think it's a different thing within Judaism, but I don't know. Somebody might have help me in the comments. However, back to here. The influx of others who aren't Anglo-Saxon, if you want to put it that way. See, this is the thing. The way I gauge Britain is this. 1900s, right? We'll go back 200 years. 300 years. That period of steady. Now, why it's had to be changed so much in the last so many years, very few years, is purely the greed of a very small minority of people and their religious hatred or their racial hatred of us. That's it. No other reason. They've no love for the people they're trying to bring into my country, because at the end of the day they're trying to kick them out of their country. Alright? They despise us. Make that clear. And I mean, if you look at the people that are running this, right, they don't even see us as human. And the people that they're using to hate upon us also see us as less. Now, if you're a woman, you're fucked. If you're a female dog, you've got to... But anyway. So have a think. Are you a racist or are you tribalist? I think most of you will come to the same conclusion as me, that you're tribal. You love your own creed, your own kind, your own culture, which we do have. A lot of the reason that many people around the world don't understand about our, or don't see our culture, is because they're using it too. Since we fucked off all around the world and gave them everything about us and taught them more how to be like us, they're going to have a hard job picking up our culture because it seems second nature to them. But without our culture going to these countries, their culture would be very different as well. There it is. Right. I think I'm done for that one. Probably get done doing that one. I'll see you in a bit.